I live in a crazy house. Let's get started. I have my wife's grandfather who is just plain stubborn. He treats my wife's mother as if she is a third-rate citizen, constantly complaining while his worthless son gets to stay here and live off him and pay nothing. That same son has a girlfriend who is drama. She is constantly trying to start a fight with my wife's father. I almost feel as if they secretly love one another, but then you look at her, she must be all of 500 pounds and looks like an obese witch. She has a nickname, the Whale. A little on her, she is lazy, steals from many stores, takes from the Goodwill donation centers, heck even steals clothes that are hanging to dry at the house. She has a car with expired everything and somehow, she never gets pulled over. If she isn't calling the cops about something, it's my wife's crazy father. Now on to the father. This man needs to be in a mental institution. He suffers from dementia, calls the cops daily talking about drugs and it being everywhere near the house. He even called the police on himself once and was arrested that day. Of course, you know who the prime person that he claims sells drugs, the Whale. But if you disagree with him, you are on drugs too. He has a fascination with this red, green, and yellow flag that he claims to be the original Hawaiian flag, but there is no reference of it till 1993. He is so fixated with the whale, the flag, and this history he changes words, prints out hundreds of copies and hands them out to people. On top of this, he was a terrible father and grandfather. I could go on to a lengthy details about it, but this would go on forever. Honestly, he needs to go in a mental hospital before I hurt him because he is making me get upset at the stupid things he does. If you think that's all, you are mistaken, because then we have my wife's sister who is the worst parent I have ever met. She can't get off the phone, it is literally attached to her face every time I see her. She pays zero attention to her children, to the fact that she only gets up to stop them from doing something after 4 or 5 calls of her name saying you kid is eating something he shouldn't, or the 2-year-old hit the 11-month-old. I mean, we are talking she lets her mother and my wife watch the 2 children. I get very frustrated to the point I am trying to get her mother, 2 sisters, and boyfriend and myself to discuss what she is doing wrong. Because when I say something, I am annoying her, and I never see anyone but her boyfriend saying anything to her. They argue a lot, by the way, for this reason. It's so bad she has had a learner's permit for almost 10 years and rarely drives because it would mean her having to put her phone down. Again, I could go on and on about her too and how bad of a mother she is, but that would take too long. The fact is, she is so terrible of a mother, I am discussing about calling CPS on her because I know her youngest has eaten anything and everything off the dirty ground outside. I didn't even really get into my wife's grandfather, but as I said, her mother is treated like that and so is all her family members, though we are the sole reason he can maintain this home and his other son hasn't sent him to a nursing home. Because those third-class citizens, my wife and her sister, takes him to the store weekly and he buys food for him, the Whale, and his worthless son. So yeah, this place is getting me frustrated and I am trying to find an exit without at least the grandfather, the grandfather's son and his girlfriend the Whale. Let's not fail to mention I suffer from PTSD from my 20 years in the service. This is my world, it's madness, and I can see myself one day soon hurting either the Whale or the father because they are the 2 worst, with her sister ranking 3rd.